దూరవిద్యా విధానంలో డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ ఓపెన్ యూనివర్సిటీ దేశంలోనే మొట్టమొదటి సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం. దాదాపు 2.5 దశాబ్దాలుగా దూరవిద్యా విధానం ద్వారా కంప్యూటర్ కోర్సును అనుసంధానం చేస్తూ BA, BCom, BSc డిగ్రీ కోర్సులను అందిస్తోంది. పోస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ స్థాయి, డిగ్రీ, డిప్లొమా స్థాయి కోర్సులను ఔత్సాహికులైన విద్యార్థులకు అందిస్తోంది. డెవలప్మెంట్ స్టడీస్లో సెంటర్ ఫర్ ఎకనామిక్స్ అండ్ సోషల్ స్టడీస్ ద్వారా ఎంఫిల్, PhDతో పాటు విశ్వవిద్యాలయమే స్వయంగా దూర విద్యా విధాన అంశంపైన PhD వంటి పరిశోధన కోర్సులు ప్రవేశపెట్టింది. రాష్ట్ర వ్యాప్తంగా సుమారు 4.5 లక్షల మంది విద్యార్థులు ఈ విశ్వవిద్యాలయం నుంచి ఉన్నత విద్యావకాశాలు పొందుతున్నారు. డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం స్థానికంగా స్వయం బోధనా పద్ధతిలో ముద్రణ రూపంలో రూపొందించిన కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అందిస్తోంది. కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అధ్యయనానికి సహకరించే విధంగా రేడియో, టెలివిజన్ పాఠ్యాంశాల ఆధారంగా కార్యక్రమాలు ప్రసారం చేస్తోంది. అధ్యయన కేంద్రాల ద్వారా ఏర్పాటు చేసే సలహా సంసర్గ తరగతులు, సైన్స్ ప్రాక్టికల్ సౌకర్యాలు విద్యార్థులకు స్వయం అధ్యయనానికి ఒక చక్కటి అవకాశం. ఇవి విద్యార్థి సమీపంలో ఉండే అధ్యయన కేంద్రం నుంచే పొందొచ్చు.
Good morning viewers. Welcome to the teleconference program of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. In today's teleconference program, we present you a discussion on the topic Web 2.0 and Lib 2.0. This program is intended for the Master of Library and Information Science students and research scholars of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. The duration of this program is about 60 minutes, and in the first 30 minutes we will try to give you an overview of this topic, and in the next half the students are encouraged to interact with our experts and clarify their doubts. The students who wish to clarify their doubts, they can call on these numbers 270 314 31, 270 314 32, 270 314 33. Recent advances in information and communication technologies, and particularly the internet technologies, has brought about changes in the way people they access information, the way they store information, and the way they transmit or communicate information. So, it is very interesting to find that more than 1 billion people across the globe they are active on the World Wide Web. Moreover, the advances in the programming languages and in the web technologies, they have introduced a new concept which is referred to as Web 2.0. This Web 2.0, it is a buzzword which was introduced in the year 2004, and it includes several activities like linking multiple websites and community building, social networking, so on and so forth. In this teleconference program, we present you a discussion on the various aspects of this topic, like the origin of Web 2 and Lib 2 concept, and also the various tools and their usage in library and information centers. To give you to participate in this discussion and give you more details about this topic, we have two experts with us in the studios today. Dr.V. Vishwa Mohan, he is Professor, Department of Library and Information Sciences, Usmania University, and we have Dr. Lakshmi Murthy. She is the Assistant Director, Documentation, Manage, Rajendra Nagar, Hyderabad. To start the discussion, I would like to ask Dr. Vishwa Mohan to exactly tell our students what is the meaning of Web 2 and how this concept has originated.
Dear students and Dr. Saroja, we all know that these days there is a fashion of naming things after numbers. Like whenever there is a new version of a software, we call it as say WordStar 1.0, then WordStar 2.0, and similarly you have say Office 2.0, something like that. So therefore, even in relating to web technologies also, when there are advances in web technologies, they started calling it as Web 2.0. So we should understand it more as a latest version of web technologies. And in fact, you all know that internet was developed in late 1960s, and in 1989, Tim Berners-Lee, he was the creator of WWW, World Wide Web concept. And then onwards, web technologies and then internet usage, internet applications have spread in the world, and then people have started using internet. And there are many surveys conducted on the the implications of use of internet on the society. And some of the surveys have revealed that by sticking to net surfing and then playing games on the computers, and then rather the youngsters, they are becoming more and more unsocial, and then they are not really developing social relations. So they are more computer say addicts like. But then they started thinking of developing more social community building, or social constructive technologies. And as the technologies advance, naturally there will be better technologies, and then better applications and better tools and techniques. And when we have developed better tools and techniques, and then applied those tools and techniques on the web, then we started calling them as Web 2.0. And this Web 2.0 technologies, as a matter of fact, it is Darcy DeNuxie in 1999. She in her article titled Fragmented Future, she started visualizing the concept of Web 2.0 technologies, and she started saying that now that we are going to have web ready devices like your car dashboard, and then cell phones and TVs, and so your even micro oven, and then your refrigerator in the home, they all can have web ready devices. And then now when we are going from one place to another place, on your car dashboard you have a screen, and then there you will be in a position to access internet, and then GPS information you can have. And then you can also use rather email, and your say visiting websites and accessing information on the web by using your cell phone, laptops, and all these things. There are so many devices now. When all these devices have come, this is Nuxie, she visualized, she rather envisaged that there will be development in Web 2.0 web technologies, and that would more will be like Web 2.0 technologies. But it is Tim O'Reilly and Media Live in 2004, they have hosted a conference on first conference on Web 2.0 technologies in 2004, and from then onwards Web 2.0 technologies and Web 2.0 concept has become more popular. And this is all the development relating to Web 2.0. And then the technologies which are applied or embedded in Web 2.0 technologies are RSS, really simple syndication, and then folksonomy, and blogs, wikis, and you have mashup. All these tools are there, and social networking, community building tools, and then information sharing tools. So that's we are using so many advanced technologies to build the communities, to share information and develop friendship. And then now the actual concept of this web, why it is developed to this extent is that we want to give more and more importance to information. Information in information society, information is the key element. So, therefore, information should be available in all rather desired or rather say sought out formats, and then they should be widely available anywhere, anytime, in any which way the user can access. So, this is how the Web 2.0 technologies have developed.
Thank you, Dr. Vishmohan. Dr. Lakshmi, do you have anything to add to what Dr. Vishmohan has said? And also kindly explain if there is any definition for this Web 2.0 to our students.
Thank you. And as Professor Vishmohan has already mentioned, the term was coined and in fact first introduced by Tim O'Reilly and in 2004. And basically what he defines it as is a business revolution in the computer industry, which has taken the web just from being a point for information access and dissemination as it used to be, the Web 1.0 as it was called. It has moved towards a platform for information sharing and access and dissemination in a much more collaborative and partnership platform. The Web 2 is also defined as the second wave of the internet services, and it is also called the second generation of the World Wide Web, which facilitates collaboration and partnership on a much more wider platform than it used to be. Earlier it was usually the users accessing content, and there were people who were posting content online. But the Web 2 tools, which Dr. Mohan has mentioned already, have allowed people to really add on content, edit content, even comment and rate content which is on the websites. In fact, it has made it a more interactive platform than it used to be earlier. From being just a passive user, the user now has become a much more active contributor to the content, and this is what defines the Web 2.0, I would say, and this has impacted the way we receive and access information nowadays. In fact, access to information and communication technologies itself has revolutionized the way we access and disseminate information too, and the way we manage information. But the Web 2.0 tools which have been introduced has made it much more easier for the user to be a much more active contributor to the content which is already available on the site, and even feel free to add on, in fact change the content, in fact disseminate it in various forms too.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi. So far in this we have discussed that Tim O'Reilly, he introduced this term Web 2.0 in 2004, and it is mainly Web 2 is a platform to share information, it enables interaction with the users, with the library, and the sharing of information is possible using this Web 2 technologies and tools. Now, to continue this discussion, I would like to ask Dr. Vishwa Mohan, what are the differences between this Web 1.0 and Web 2.0? Are there any differences, and if so, what are the prominent main differences which we can observe in this?
Dr. Saroja, certainly there are differences. Otherwise, there is no point in calling the latest, say as Dr. Lakshmi said, latest generation of web as Web 2.0, and it has its own differences. But at the same time, on the face of it, we will not be in a position to distinguish the Web 1.0 sites and then Web 2.0 sites, because the technologies and then as on the face of it, they appear to be same. But as a matter of fact, when it comes to applications and various other aspects, they are totally different. There are a lot of differences. The first and foremost difference is, as Dr. Lakshmi said, Web 1.0 sites, or rather those technologies were more static, and we used to have static pages where the customers, rather users of these web pages or websites, they used to consume the information which was available on the sites. Now it is not like that. If you want to add, if you want to edit, if you want to rate or evaluate, and if you want to comment, you can comment. So that is how, as a matter of fact, I would like to put the same thing which Dr. Lakshmi said in giving some technical terms, like now the Web 2.0 technologies are more dynamic. They are dynamic technologies. Now how they are dynamic? They are dynamic in the sense now they are more interactive. One can interact, the users can interact with the site, and then they can pose questions, seek clarifications, express doubts, all that. So, interaction will be there, and then they are interoperable also. Interoperability is there, and then information sharing and networking is possible. You can develop your own network, you can share your own information. These are all the dynamic features of Web 2.0. And coming to the other feature, it is say democratic. Now Web 2.0 technologies and then the services or web resources developed based on Web 2.0 technologies are more democratic. Democratic in the sense, in the past we used to simply consume the information which was available. Now you have freedom to edit, to contribute, create content. They are enabling you to create content also. So that is how they are more democratic. So you can also comment, you can also post your own comment, your own criticism on the site, and then the information which is there on the site. And then
I'd like to interrupt here.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, because this interaction is possible, so it means that libraries can deliver personalized information services to the users.
Yeah, that is right. In fact, now the Web 2.0 is more personalized, more interactive, and that advantage is there. And that is what I am coming to the next point. That is, you are going to have customized pages, customized front page. Like in the past, you cannot customize your own front page. That means, for instance, let us take an example of Facebook or MySpace, and these are all the communities available on the web. And now you can customize your page, I can customize my own front page in the Facebook. That means two users will not have the same front page of Facebook. So that is how. And another thing is, you can also it is as Dr. Lakshmi said, it is now a platform to add more applications. You can add applications, you can have your own applications, you can have your own mashup, you can add your own tools, and maybe software tools, and then various plugins on your front page, on your site. So that is how it is more rather user is empowered to rather design, structure, restructure, reformat the site itself, the page which he uses. And now the other difference is they are more social. So social community building networks are there. So therefore you can develop discussion groups, you can develop say e-groups, and then you can listservs can be there, blogs are there. Of course blogs are they are called as say online journal, where you can read, write, all that. There also you can post your comments, and then people can say have interaction between and among themselves, and they can also participate in discussions. All these things are possible. These are the differences of Web 2.0 technologies.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwa Mohan. Dr. Lakshmi, could you kindly tell us the origin of Lib2, the concept of Lib2, and also what are the principles behind the development of Lib 2.0?
Thank you, Dr. Saroja. In fact, Lib2 is basically the application of Web 2 technologies to the library. And as we are all aware here, including the students, library has always been a place for networking, and we've always focused on networking and information sharing. We were using the internet for putting our information online and enabling access to it. But now the Web 2 tools which have allowed us to make users of our library or patrons of our library more active contributors to the content itself which we are putting online. And then they are the users who define the services also which we can provide in terms of the library 2.0. So the library 2.0 is application of Web 2 tools in the library itself, in terms of, as Dr. Mohan has mentioned just now, in terms of creating your blogs and allowing users more collaborative and more partnership with the users to define what they want exactly on the site. You could have book reviews by authors and even by the users of the books themselves, and even by the patrons. And the library itself could create a space using the Web 2 tools where the people of the library or the members of the library could really contribute to the content, comment on the books which are already there, the resources which are available, even suggest a few things on that. In fact, it was first mentioned in 2005 by Michael Casey, and then onwards the term was used as Library 2.0, which defines the library as a more interactive and information sharing platform, which really allows users to really contribute to what they are giving. It's not just a top-down flow of services from the librarians to the users. It's more of an information sharing and exchange platform where we are networking with the community, and it's most of it is called social networking, as we are calling it, in terms of blogs and Wikipedia's collaborative content generation, being able to provide services, being able to allow even our users to comment on what we put up, even rate our services. I think that's a wonderful way to go in terms of making users more of active listeners rather than just passive receivers of the content which we have been providing all these years. In fact, they are the ones who can also define what can be put online and what they want. The content which has been posted by us can also be used by developers to generate new techniques and applications rather. In fact, in terms of what Professor Mohan has already mentioned, mashups, we could use contents from different applications and put it together as a new information base. And basically the principle behind Library 2.0, it goes beyond the books and information per se. It's beyond just giving access to the books and information. It's allowing users to really collaborate, share information, be able to even talk about it, be able to rate it and review it and post that information also for the world to see. Another part of it is allowing developers to use the content which the librarian has posted online and being able to use it in multiple ways, using different formats, using different tools and using different dissemination packages also.
Thank you, Lakshmi. In this discussion, we have brought out the key differences between the Web 2.0 and 1.0, and we have discussed that Web 2.0 is more dynamic and it brings about a collaboration between the user as well as the library provider, or the user can change the content, he can alter the content or he can add content, and also he can also remix the content from different websites. That's what Professor Dr. Vishwa has said. And Lib 2 is the application of Web 2 technologies to the libraries, and the user, there is continuous interaction between the user as well as the library. The user evaluates the information, the user can rate the information, the user actually he can demand what services he wants from he expects from the library. This way we can there will be continuous improvement in providing the library services also.
I would like to add here that as we said, Web 2.0 technologies are dynamic technologies, and Library 2.0 is also a dynamic library. So because it uses dynamic technologies, and then it helps build the library user communities, and then information sharing and then utilization will be, rather the rate of information sharing and utilization will increase.
That's true. And we will advance this discussion, and may I ask you now to clarify on this concept of blogs. There are numerous blogs which have come into, when I put a query in the Google and search, several blogs were retrieved. So what exactly is this concept of blog, and how it is useful for the library and information centers?
Now in fact when it comes to blogs, I also feel that blogs are really handy tools on the web. Like sometime back I used to feel that I have so many ideas, so many feelings. I want to communicate my feelings, my ideas. How? I would like to give it to a journal or a newspaper, but they don't publish. And the chances of they getting published are very, very rare and bleak. So when you have a blog of your own, then it is an online journal where you can publish your own ideas, your own say information, your own views on your blog. And then the beauty of blog is that others also can contribute, and they contribute their own ideas, their own experiences, and as information sharing through blog is more fruitful. And when it comes to application of blogs in libraries, and libraries also publish, and there is a lot of publishing work in the libraries. Libraries publish their say newsletters, and then their guides, and then they also say publish their current awareness bulletins. So these are all there are several publications of libraries, and then they can publish these on their blog. They can post it on their blog, and on these blogs the users also can participate, and then they may contribute to the content of this blog, relating to the what do you call, what they have perceived, the developments in the library and library services, and then how they have been benefited by the library services, what their experiences with the library, all that. So that's, we will be through blogs we will be offering a platform to the library users and the library patrons to share their information and then post their comments, post their what do you call, views, and that's share information. And as a matter of fact, actually I wanted to rather say compliment Dr. Lakshmi's saying that by using Web 2.0 technologies, we will be in a position to develop libraries to such an extent that library will become more a multifaceted social agency, social center. And in the past, actually we should be in a position to visualize, imagine what were the constraints of libraries in the past. In the past, collection development was a great constraint because of space limitations, finances, limited finances, and unlimited user needs would be there. In order to satisfy the unlimited user needs, you need to have unlimited information resources, information sources. It is not possible. But now that you have internet and then Web 2.0 technologies, with the help of these technologies, the world rather information which is available throughout the world is accessible to you. As a result, what happens, you will be in a position to render all kinds of services. And as a matter of fact, library is considered to be an information center. Library is considered to be a technical information center, TIC, it is called a TIC, learning resource center, community information center, or your information therapy center. There are so many, community resource center. And library can be viewed as a blog now, library can be viewed as a wiki now. So that's in the face of, rather in the mirror of Web 2.0 technologies, library can be viewed as a multifaceted center through which you will be in a position to render dynamic services. Because now, for instance, you can with the help of say availability of resources on the net, the librarians will be in a position to access health information also, and you need not develop a collection related to health and hygiene. The information is available.
I may have to interrupt the discussion here now. We may have to take a short break for news, and after the break we will resume the discussion. Thank you. Welcome back to the teleconference program of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Before we took a short break for news, we were discussing the blogs, the concept of blogs and their use in libraries. Here we have a phone call here. Hello.
Hello.
May I know who is calling and kindly.
I am M. Subbaya, retired Deputy Director, Ambedkar Open University.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, kindly what is it you really want to clarify regarding this Web 2?
I am not going to clarify. I want to know something about this Web 2 technologies and other things.
Sir, please. Sir, please spell out what is your query, sir?
Sir, I will put a question to the resource person and this, sir.
Okay, sir. Please, Dr. Vishwa Mohan, could you kindly take the call from Dr. Subbaya?
Yes.
He was former faculty with us.
Dr. Subbaya garu,
Namaste, Vishwa Mohan garu. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University Teleconference కార్యక్రమంలో ఏర్పాటు చేసినటువంటి సరోజిని గారికి, మీ ఇద్దరు రిసోర్స్ పర్సన్స్ కూడా నమస్కారం అండి. ఈ రోజు కార్యక్రమం విజ్ఞానదాయకంగా ఉంది. ఇప్పటి వరకు మీరు G1, G2 వెబ్సైట్ టెక్నాలజీస్ గురించి చెప్పారు. అయితే ఇక నాకు ఒక చిన్న ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తెలుసుకోవాలని వేస్తున్నానండి, ఆసక్తిగా ఉన్నది. ఇప్పుడు ఈ Web2 తర్వాత లేటెస్ట్ ఇంకా ఏమైనా Web3 కానీ Web4 కానీ వచ్చాయా? అయితే అందులో ఉన్న కొత్త ఫీచర్స్ ఏమిటి, స్పెషాలిటీస్ ఏమిటి, యూజెస్ ఏమిటి, ఇవి తెలియపరిస్తే ధన్యవాదాలు.
సుబ్బయ్య గారు, మీ క్వశ్చన్ చాలా మంచిగుంది, చాలా మంచి క్వశ్చన్ చేశారు. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ the Web 2.0 is not going to be end of it, and there will be development in web technologies, and it is going to be Web 3.0. Future generation of web will be Web 3.0. దాన్ని ఏమంటున్నామంటే మనము semantic web. It is called as semantic web. Why it is called semantic web? As a matter of fact, now when we are accessing information on the web using any search engine, when you give some keywords, then millions of sites you are retrieving, and out of those millions of sites, how many are relevant sites? How many sites are relevant to you? There will be so many, maybe 99% of them may be irrelevant sites, because information is processed in that fashion. Therefore the search engines try to retrieve all sites which contain that particular keyword. So that keyword may be possessed by a particular site as a reference to some other context, but then that may not be really relevant, totally relevant, 100% relevant, or at least 70-80% relevant to the user's information need. So therefore what they are trying to do is, మీరు ఒక కీవర్డ్ మనతో సెర్చ్ చేసినప్పుడు సమాచారము మీకు కావలసిన సమాచారమే, if the search engine can retrieve and then provide you, that is more meaningful search engine, more meaningful web. So that is what they are going to develop, and then they are going to rather enable the web technologies to rather provide the users with more relevant sites, more relevant information. So therefore they are going to call it as semantic web.
Semantic, is it 3.0?
Yeah, 3.0.
That is the latest.
That is that is still in the process of development.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank you very much, Dr. Vishwa Mohan, and thank you, Dr. Subbay Garu, for the interesting query you have asked. And let us continue this discussion on Web 2 technology. We were discussing the Web 2 tools like blogs and their usage in the libraries. Dr. Lakshmi Murthy, can you kindly elaborate on this topic, and then give us some interesting examples of library blogs?
Well, the blog can also be perceived as a web log, which is an online diary basically. We post information on that, and it's more like which comes on as an online diary in a reverse chronological order, which means that the latest entries will be figuring on the top, and one can go through the other entries if one is interested in information which has been posted earlier. And there are a number of blogs, of course, in library and information science itself. You would have the library and information science jobs itself. LIS jobs blogspot.com is one site where it posts information on jobs in information and library science. Another place is giving news and announcements in terms of advances in library and information science. Another is book reviews. So we have a number of ways in which information by the librarians is being posted using the blogs itself, where information on jobs, vacancies, announcements, also news and advances, plus also book reviews are being posted. And we have very interesting blogs also by a number of development organizations, where they are giving a blog on world food hunger, which is given by a blog which is in Washington, IFPRI, basically IFPRI, that is International Food Policy Research Institute, which gives food and policy related blog, which, and even the community, as Dr. Mohan has mentioned, even the community can add on content to that blog. Whatever a librarian, let's say, would add content and add on a blog, a user can add comments to that, and that also will be appearing on the blog site, along with the other information which is already posted by the person who has created the blog in the first place. Another way is the number of libraries which are there are using the blog to inform about new books available in the library, new articles, new journals which have been received, and that is the information also which is going on in the form of a blog, where information on new arrivals is posted, and other ways to make it much more interactive and involve the users. And a blog does that in terms of being a Web 2 tool, the user can also see the book reviews and add his own comments to that, which may be quite different from the original comments. A person is free to add content, add comments and review it also himself, and also add more features to it in terms of what more information would be helpful to another person who accesses the same blog. And these are some of the examples which I would just like to mention on this.
For the students of MLISC, I would like to say one thing, because you should also have an experience of visiting a library blog. If you are really interested, then visit Library of Congress website, and they have the blog there, and then you click that particular say link, then you will visit the Library of Congress blog, then you see what content it has, and then how it is formatted and how it appears.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwa Mohan. We have discussed so far about the blogs and how they are used in libraries, that is for posting book reviews, and then users can themselves review the books, and then we can use it for placing the alerts about the new editions, so on and so forth. To continue this discussion, and there is another important Web 2 tool which is called Wikipedia. So, I would like to ask Dr. Vishwa Mohan to focus more on this and explain on this wikis.
Yeah, wikis are again web resources, but then they are more rather encyclopedias on online or on the web. So, therefore, we can call them as encyclopedias. They are encyclopedias on internet or web are called as Wikipedia, the wikis, and then Wikipedia is one of the free encyclopedias available on internet. Now, the point here is we should be in a position to understand the difference between conventional encyclopedias and then wikis.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. There is another phone call waiting here. Hello. Hello.
మేడం సరోజ మేడం గారా?
అవునండి, చెప్పండి.
మేడం నేను MLISC స్టూడెంట్ మేడం.
మీ పేరు చెప్పండి.
నాది హాల్ నెంబర్ 017 0307.
మీ పేరు చెప్పండి.
శ్రీనివాసమూర్తి మేడం.
శ్రీనివాసమూర్తి గారు, మీరు ఈ టాపిక్ గురించి ఏమన్నా అడగదలుచుకుంటే మన ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ తోటి మీరు మీ డౌట్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటే అడగచ్చండి.
మేడం టాపిక్ గురించి కాదు కానీ మేడం MLISC లో నేను చేరాను మేడం.
చెప్పండి.
నాకు ఇంతవరకు సర్టిఫికేట్ రాలేదు మేడం. లాస్ట్
మీరు ఈ క్వశ్చన్కి ఆన్సర్ మీరు స్టూడెంట్ సర్వీసెస్ బ్రాంచ్ నుంచి మీరు తెలుసుకోవచ్చండి. మీరు 23680 అనే ఫోన్ నెంబర్కి ఫోన్ చేసి మీరు డీటెయిల్స్ ఆ ఫోన్ నెంబర్ నుంచి మీరు తెలుసుకోవచ్చు. సార్, కైండ్లీ కంటిన్యూ ద డిస్కషన్.
Now, let us go back to our discussion, and then now we know that there were popular encyclopedias like Encyclopedia Britannica, Encyclopedia Americana, and then World Book Encyclopedia. So many encyclopedias. In those days, we used to rather wait for the next edition of encyclopedia. Till then, there was old information available in these encyclopedias. Of course, they wanted to revise and update these encyclopedias, and as a revision mechanism, they were introducing yearbooks. Even if it is yearbook, 1 year long you had to wait for updates. Now that we have web 2.0 technologies and internet technologies and online information available, with this you are in a position to have latest information, updated encyclopedias instantaneously. You can update, and this moment there is some event or some particular piece of information emerges, and that can figure in Wikipedia instantaneously. And this is the kind of say encyclopedias which are available on web. So they are called wikis. And at the same time, how these wikis are updated. When we visit Wikipedia, I was really surprised to see once there is an entry on librarians library, librarians digital library, which is developed by DRTC. Then I was wondering how this particular information Wikipedia people have collected. They did not collect, it was posted by DRTC people themselves. So that is how you can edit, you can contribute, you can create content, and at the same time these wikis are so dynamic and then so interactive, and they have different features. They are they have hypertext, say hypertext features, and they have multimedia features. You can have animation, you can have pictures, and you can have internal links, external links, hyperlinks. There will be so many hyperlinks. Navigation navigation for information is so easy that from one page to one page you can simply navigate. You can simply jump from one page to another page. In the what do you call conventional encyclopedias, what we were doing, it was sequential searching, or you had to depend on the index of the encyclopedia. But now you need not depend on anything, and these are the features. Now these wikis, they have hyperlinks. So when you want to have clarification relating to one concept, and if the particular concept is hyperlinked, then you can click on that particular link, and straight away you will go to the say page where you find information on this particular concept. This is how within the wiki or the Wikipedia or encyclopedia, online encyclopedia, you can access information, and then you will be in a position to cover more information. And there will be external links also. They will be straight away linking you to the external source, other website which contains information on your topic. So that is how Wikipedias or wikis are developed, and these will be really as a matter of fact, you all know that, being in memorialized students, you know that encyclopedias are called backbones of the reference section or the library itself, and encyclopedias provide background information. Now wikis provide even not only background information, latest information. So this is the kind of dynamic tools and dynamic resources we have on Web 2.0. And
Sir, I have a question here. So you said that anybody can update the content, anybody can contribute to the wiki. So is there any mechanism to ascertain the authenticity of the information on Wikipedia?
Certainly. See, as a matter of fact, this is what I wanted to actually talk about, because if somebody wants to create content to sabotage the credibility of that particular encyclopedia online, they may put post wrong information, and then faulty information or unauthentic information, and thus the whole reputation and credibility of the authenticity of the wiki will be at stake, and it will be ruined. So therefore there is a mechanism. What they do sorry, there is a facility to edit and then say contribute your own say content. But at the same time, when you are going to edit the contents of the encyclopedia, there is a mechanism. They will verify the authenticity of the contributor. Who is he, where from, what is his affiliation, what is his experience, is he really an authority in the field or not, in which way he is the competent person. So for instance, let us take a case. I am from Osman University, I am from Department of Library Science. I would like to give some information relating to Department of Library Science. I would like to feed it into some wiki. Then when I contact this wiki and then try to edit it, then there will be a procedure. Then I have to show my credentials and then give my details. Then after verification, they will allow me to edit. Otherwise, what will happen? Everybody will be in a position to meddle with the resources, and then all kinds of information will be available, and people who are the consumers of these information, they will be using there is danger of using wrong information, unauthentic information.
So it is you mean to say that it is easy to track
Yes,
the
naturally.
contributor,
Yes.
details of the contributor, and even the users, they come to know who has contributed what. So the user should be bold enough to present his the information on the Wikipedia. Thank you, Dr. Vishwa. Dr. Lakshmi Murthy, there are many other tools on Web 2 which are very commonly used and are also very popular, like Flickr is one, and then Facebook and so on, other tools. Could you explain those tools to our students?
Well, we have talked about some of the tools like blogs and wikis, and in fact I just wanted to mention one more point of the wiki. In fact, a network of libraries which is working in the same area of interest could set up a collaborative wiki platform where each one of them, regardless of wherever they are in terms of their location, which may be across the country or the world, could add on content to that.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. We have another phone call here. Hello.
హలో నమస్తే మేడం.
నమస్కారం అండి.
ఈ ప్రశ్న విశ్వమోహన్ గారికి.
చెప్పండి సార్.
సార్, కుడ్ యూ టెల్ మీ వాట్ ఈస్ ది డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ డిజిటల్ లెర్నింగ్ అండ్ ఈ లెర్నింగ్?
డిజిటల్ లెర్నింగ్
అండ్ ఈ లెర్నింగ్.
అండ్ ఈ లెర్నింగ్, డిజిటల్ లెర్నింగ్ అని ఇంతవరకు మేము వినలేదండి. It is e-learning only. They call it as e-learning. And as a matter of fact, almost all e-learning sources are digital sources only. Okay. So e-learning is electronic learning. So online learning. Naturally, you know, you have e-learning resources, e-learning objects, okay, available on the net. You will be in a position to utilize those e-learning objects and then, you know, learn self-learning tools.
Sir, learning is online learning.
Yes.
So we have seen in some news magazines digital learning. Therefore, I want to know, because as a layman, the difference between
good, very good. Actually ఏంటంటేనండి ఈ మధ్యలో ఎవరికి ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు వాళ్ళు టర్మ్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నారనమాట. సో దేర్ ఫోర్ ఇక డిజిటల్ లెర్నింగ్ అంటే ఇంతవరకు
Maybe it is synonymous with e-learning. Using the internet technologies, web technologies, if learning takes place, maybe they call it as digital learning, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for the question, and I am sure you are satisfied with the explanation given by Dr. Vishwa Mohan. Thank you very much, sir. Now, to continue the discussion, ma'am, please, would you please describe the other tools apart from the blogs and then wikis, the other tools we were discussing. Could you kindly continue?
Well, some of the other tools which we have been using is Flickr. Flickr is basically for posting your photographs, and then it's possible to also post photographs, edit photographs, organize photographs, and the users can also give tags in terms of subject headings which the user uses, and then share it with the rest. And in fact, there could be an RSS, and I would just tell you more about that in terms of giving alerts to people who you want them to access your photographs. In fact, an institution or a library could set up their own Flickr site where, you know, they could put up photographs on the library, how it was and how it's evolved over the period of time. The people working in that, the resource persons included. Another one is very commonly used is YouTube. YouTube basically allows us to post videos online and also edit also the same. We can edit the videos, and then also we can add on content and tags to it also. That is also possible on YouTube. We can share the videos with the rest of the world, and the others can also comment and post on that. Moreover, by way of it allowing content to be tagged in terms of subject headings, it allows information on a particular, let's say, number of videos dealing with a particular topic to come together on the site also. It's possible to search through that also. It's possible, very easy to post your own video online through youtube.com. Another one which is used is Facebook, and in fact a library, basically it's a place, again a place on the internet, whereas Web 2.0 is concerned, to post your own information about yourselves. It could be you yourself having your site on Facebook, or it could be basically your own organization or your library having a place on Facebook. It gives a much more wider visibility about the services which you are providing as a librarian or as your own, as a personal, out of your own interest, and it allows people to interact and network. It basically allows people with like-minded interests and views to be able to network on that platform using Facebook. Another very interesting one is the Rss Feeds, and basically we are calling it, you must have commonly heard of the term RSS, and you might have seen it on the websites, which comes on as an orange button there, XML and RSS.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi, for giving us an overview of all these various other tools. There are many more tools also, like discussion forums, and then we have this social mashups, and then the social folks on tagging, content tagging, so on and so forth. But here due to shortage of time, we are not able to give more details about this topic. And finally, to give you a sum up, We have discussed the origin of Web 2, Lib 2, and we have tried to made an effort to bring about the differences between Web 1 and Web 2, and also we have discussed the blogs and the importance of blogs in library and information centers. We have discussed the importance and advantages of Wikis, Wikipedia, and also we have given an overview of the various other tools like Flickr and all, and I thank the experts to have come here and sparing their valuable time and discussing and giving details on this topic, and I also thank the audience for interacting with our experts. Thank you one and all. With this, close.